Welcome to the Unwashed Asses, episode 81, recorded for Wednesday, February 13th, 2019. Holy shit, we're recording on the actual day it's gonna get posted. Maybe tomorrow we record early and get it up Friday morning. That's crazy talk. Either way, good job, me. Oh my god. I'm tired. So tired. And so angry. I've been having a real hard time with anger lately. I don't know what the deal is. If I'm just frustrated and need an outlet, or if I need to change a pace, or what the deal is, but I'm just getting pissed off at the drop of a hat. And I mean, I'd like to think that there are valid reasons for why I'm getting upset and angry, but not to the extent that I am, where like I'm livid most of the day. I'm an angry person, and I need to let that shit go. But it's almost like old man syndrome's kicking in, and I'm just angry at the world and angry at other people and just angry in general. And it's a whole fuck you, get off my lawn, and what's wrong with kids today type of attitude. And that's not how I want to be. I like to think I used to be a very chill and relaxed person, and didn't let things get to me and was super patient. But I track it back to a point in a job I held previously where I eventually just got fed up with all the bullshit and said fuck it. And ever since then, it's been just kind of, all right, I don't like how this is. Fuck it. Fuck them. Burn the bridge. Leave the county. Not going to deal with it anymore. Because, the reasoning in my head is, why should I have to deal with people if they piss me off? And it makes it hard if you're trying to maintain a friendship. To the point of like, all right, well, I'm ready to burn this fucking bridge. Let me transfer to a different office. And I'm trying to justify it as justify my reason as, well, I just want to work, in where I live instead of commuting and dealing with lake assholes in the summer and all that nonsense. But it's like my beliefs on suicide. Just sleep on it, give it a night, see how you feel in the morning. I don't know, just getting pissed off with just mostly childish behavior, I guess, and focus on things that I don't necessarily deem important. Like, we have a D&D group, and so much pressure is being put on it, and it's just like, I don't give a shit. I'm here more so for the social aspect than the game itself, and you're putting these weird restrictions and rules and just being a general fuck, or you're acting like an ass or an idiot, and it's like, I just don't want to deal with this anymore. And I realize that in turn I am being an asshole because of that. So it's fucked up. But I need to find a way to let go of the hate and the anger and be chill. Don't let the behavior of others affect my own inner peace type of thing. Make sure that the dude abides. And maybe that's the thing where I haven't watched The Big Lebowski in the past 6 months, and I'm due. I'm due for a good chill out session. Or I could turn this anger and frustration into something productive and, go buy a heavy bag and hang it up in the basement and, go to town a couple days a week and just beat the shit out of it and, not only get stronger, but, vent and let out some of this frustration. So, I don't know. Tired too. That's the other thing, is like, I come home and I want to play games. Games are what I love. They're a passion. They're a joy. And I'm too tired to do anything. Get home, and by 9:30, I'm like, fuck this. I want to get into bed. It sucks. Like the weather. The weather's awful. Still is. Last night we had a terrible snowstorm hit, and I had a job go completely sideways, where I got stuck out there until 7 at night when the storm was like in full bore. So I had an hour drive home because of it, and anytime I would go above 30 miles an hour, the truck would immediately, start to lose its shit, because this Ford Transit is just the biggest fucking piece of shit in the winter. It is terrible with its handling and its ability to maneuver through snow and ice. It's just awful. And I think a large part of it is just because there's no weight in the back end, but fuck's sake, it is terrible. Just because, yeah, literally, and I'm on like major highways, but these highways, I should say major. We have, the rural highways and then the interstates, I guess you'd call it there. But the highways are going through country, and there's nothing in some stretches, and the snow was just drifting like a motherfucker. And on one highway in particular, the ass end of my truck, again, I'm doing 30, kicked out, and I would fight to, gain control. Meanwhile, there's people still riding my ass. It's like, you just saw me almost lose control of this thing 3 fucking times within 20 minutes. You still want to ride my ass? You realize if I lose this thing, you're going to crash right into me. Same thing happened on a different road. It's like, the fuck is wrong with you people? And then when I hit the actual interstate, again, I'm not doing above 30 because I'm petrified that this thing is going to spin out of control. And there's fuckers just whizzing by me at 50. It's like, I don't fucking get it. Part of me hopes that they die. But the other thing is, what if they are just better drivers and I suck at driving this thing? No. Conditions were terrible. We had full-blown whiteout conditions. And they're zipping around at 50. It's fucked. Fucked like the heat in this truck. The sun is warm. Sun's warm. Temperature's not bad outside. It's really not. Just dealing with this snow and ice still. God. But no, now that I'm done with that bitch fest, what I'm really here to talk to you about, I digress, is gigantic transvestite lizards. It's been a topic I wanted to talk about since 2018. I wanted it to be, more topical or on point, I guess. And it kept getting away from me. But today we're finally going to talk about my favorite creation of 2018, which is Bowsette. For those not familiar, Bowsette is essentially what happens when you take Bowser and you put a crown on him that turns him into something more resembling Princess Peach, where he changes sex, he gets blonde hair, actually gets very attractive, but still retains several of his Koopa-like qualities, like his horns and his shell. So Bowsette came onto the scene in September. The artist was AYYK92, Ake. He put up a comic on Twitter, and famously, Super Mario Odyssey, I think it was Odyssey, the one where Mario's got the hat and he controls things. Mario had planned to marry Peach, and Bowser kidnapped her. At the end of the game, both Mario and Bowser propose, and she rejects both of them. Well, the comic goes on that Mario has stolen a crown from a character called Toadette, and Toadette had come about in New Super Mario Bros. U. And Toadette was a female Toad, where she had a power-up crown, and when she put the crown on, she would turn into Toadette, which was essentially Toad, but more like Princess Peach. So the thinking was, okay, if we put this crown on Bowser, it should effectively turn him into Peach, and that's what the comic purported. So Bowser puts on the crown, and in the last scene we see Mario, because we have Luigi and Peach playing tennis in the background and just giving a dead, blank, completely baffled stare at Mario, and now Bowsette in the foreground. And the internet went fucking wild with this. I know when I checked the subreddit, they had something like 30,000 followers within 3 days of this thing's creation. And comic and anime artists from all over the world started drawing their own renditions. And, the original artists had, Bowsette, looking a lot like Peach, but more of like I guess a rocker hairstyle and a black dress and spiked collar, and armbands, and she still has her shell on. But other artists like added on Bowser's tail, and some gave her red hair and a tan, and had her shooting flames. More like, okay, this is Bowser, but just in a lady form, not necessarily what would Peach look like if she was trying to do a slutty cosplay of Bowser. And from there, it went completely off the rails into straight up porn. And then they would take the crown, various artists, and apply it to other characters. Boo, the Boo that would fly around and chase Mario when he wasn't looking. When he turned around, it'd close its eyes. Was, I guess, the next most popular character. It's the one I see the art of second most behind Bowsette. But you have other things like Piranha Plant and Chain Chomp and Bullet Bill, and even characters outside of Mario like Link. It's just like what Nintendo character can we throw this fucking crown on? And they ran with it, and I fucking loved it. Not so much for the pornography, because honestly, if we want to see 2D porn of blonde girls with big boobs, it's a dime a dozen. I liked it more so that it turned the stereotypical trope of the male hero having to rescue the princess on its head. Because in games like Mario and Zelda, the idea is that you're this adventurer that has to go on a long, arduous quest in order to save the princess from her evil captor. And while it's never outright stated that they're in a romantic relationship, it's heavily implied. Like, Mario traditionally gets a kiss from Peach as a reward, or she always entices him over to the castle with, "Let me bake you a cake." But in the overarching canon, it's like, no, they're not together. And it makes me wonder why, Mario and Link continually go on these quests to rescue royalty that can't manage its own shit. I'm not saying that sex or a romantic relationship should be the proper reward for such a quest, but again, if it's so heavily implied, why are these characters constantly being rejected? In Link's case, he's always, being hit on gratuitously by other female leads in games like Maida. I think that was her name. And Princess Rico? Either way, Link's got game, but he's always after Zelda. At least that's how it's implied. But Mario definitely more so. So I like it because I see a character like Mario constantly being rejected, and in turn finding true love in the form of his greatest arch nemesis, Bowser. The two of them have realized that they don't actually need Peach, that they can be perfectly happy with one another, and that by removing this thing that was an obstacle, the foil point to each of them, they can move on, they can progress. And maybe that's what it is. It's a cathartic release where after 30 years of games, we finally get to see the story move on in the sense of, well, now Mario and Bowser are a thing. And just the irony that it's a fucking gigantic lizard that's turned into a super hot chick. It's a tranny lizard. It's hilarious to me. I fucking love it. And I wish them all the best. There's plenty of, comics galore now about the whole, Peach trying to win Mario back and saying she took him for granted, but Mario's now happy with Bowsette, and they're going off and doing all these things, and Bowsette's rubbing it in Peach's face, and I don't know. I feel like it's good comeuppance for somebody who doesn't necessarily appreciate all the work that Mario goes through just to rescue her. A job that he shouldn't really have to be doing. If you're royalty, odds are you're commanding an army or an armed forces of some sort. Why can't they take control of the situation and get you back? Why does it always have to be this guy from, is Mario from another dimension? I don't know. But in the case of like Link, a kid has to defeat this ancient evil, and it doesn't seem fair. Since September, it's not really progressed any further into terms of actual story. Nintendo hasn't really offered much of a commitment aside from comments saying that, Bowsette will never become a canon character no matter how much people love her. Let me see if I can find where is it? I can't find it. Alright, so Nintendo did not comment on stating, concerning the drawings and other things uploaded to the internet, we have no comment. So, I mean, I doubt that they would embrace something like this, and some people suspect that Bowsette was partly created to, or all this fan art was created to kind of goad Nintendo into a response, because they've typically been very prudish in their views and how they handle their properties. Most famously, monetizing any videos that people would put up of them playing their games and not sharing that with the content creators. So it's interesting to see how this has become not necessarily a thorn in the side, but definitely it got big enough to draw a response. And again, it hasn't really progressed anything further substantial. The subreddit is now just entirely porn, which isn't a bad thing, but if you're looking for anything of substance, you're not really going to find it there. But I mean, like most memes that, pop up and burn bright, they turn like Icarus. They burn too brightly and fall. And while Bowsette is still super popular, subreddit I think is at like 75,000. I think it's going to be more of like a niche thing, or niche. It's not really going to grow outside of this super devoted fan base, and that's totally cool. That's fine. It tickled me to death when I saw that, and I fell in love immediately with this character. Luigi had always been my favorite, but now, I guess as far as unofficials go, Bowsette's definitely my favorite. But that is work calling, and we're gonna have to wrap it up. If you have any comments on giant tranny lizards, shoot me a message, theunwashedasses@gmail.com. Again, theunwashedasses@gmail.com. And if you want to support the show, tell a friend. Just let somebody know. They can get it wherever they get podcasts, either searching The Unwashed Asses or TUA. And if you want to go a step beyond, head over to patreon.com/zeroand09, ZEROAND09. Pitch in $1 or $2 a month. We're going to be putting up the digital sketches for January and February this week. So if you want to get some of those, pledge in at the $20 tier. Otherwise, if you want to get some producer credits, you can get that too. Just head over to Patreon and do your thing. Otherwise, we will see you after V-Day.